Okay, so the last part is what I will discuss. They are called geometric objects. So let me write this down. We call this geometric objects. Again, another visualization tool for any data set. So now if you observe, see both these plots, I mean, of course they look different, but they have the same variables, right? So this X is engine displacement and fuel efficiency, and same way here as well, right? So they both have the same X and Y variable. They're trying to show you the same data set, but they're both showing you two different graphs. Okay. So what's going on? So the idea is that both use two different geomes. So one is using a geome point, and one is using a geome smooth. So what's a geome? A geome is a geometrical object that a plot uses to represent data. So let me write this down. So this is what's called a geome. So this is a geome. Let me write properly, sorry. So a geome is the geometrical object that a plot uses to represent data. So let me erase this and bring this down here. Geometrical object. An object that a plot uses to describe a data set or to represent data set. So this geo, maybe I'll mark it in purple so that you can do the same as this geo on this side. So that's the geo we're doing. So here, one is doing a geome point, another is doing geome smooth. Both are different functions. So you could do many geomes. You could do line charts, you could do bar charts, you could do box plots. Scatter plots are one way. For example, this thing you've seen before, the first one, that's a scatter plot, right? That just puts a point for everybody, for every coordinate of displacement highway, this X and Y, just puts X for displacement and Y or engine displacement and Y for highway efficiency. So this one uses geome point. This is doing geome smooth. So what the geome smooth is probably the sort of the punchline of this whole course. So in the course, we'll do linear models. But here, this geome smooth is fitting what it thinks is a curve that describes the variable highway X versus Y versus X. There's highway's efficiency is Y, and then engine displacement is X. So, of course, this is not a line; it's a curve. So it's kind of telling you that this is what it's doing some measurement. In some way, it's optimizing. We'll discuss that as the course goes along. But geome smooth is giving you some curve that represents data set. You could draw different things as well. You don't have to draw this one curve. You could draw, you could again add layers to this thing as well. We'll try and see. So today I will not go into understanding what geome smooth is, but I'll try to see how to add a layer to this to see how to sort of embellish the whole thing. So the first thing I did was I said, so what I did here was that if you look at this bottom part here, so I'm going to again do X is engine displacement and Y is efficiency. It's the basic mapping of the set. And then I'm going to add one layer. The first layer I'm going to add is points. The points I'm going to do, I'm going to color it with the drive type of drive. That is four-wheel, front wheel, four-wheel, or rear wheel. And then I'm going to add a smoothing to it. And the smoothing on all colors I'm going to use grids. Okay. Smoothing will be one black line and these grids. So let's see how the graph looks like. So just think about what the graph will do before you sort of do it. Let me go here. First, let me come here. Let me do this. The geome smooth is this one. So what happened to this? What happened? All right, came last, very nice. And here, let's do this. Let's see what happens. This is what it'll give you, right? So that's exactly what happened. So what did it do? I added a basic data frame. The coordinate system was this, with X was this, and Y was this. And I threw in the points. And the points, I threw another aesthetic called color. And the color was going to give, instead of class, this time I use the drive. So it's four-wheel, front or rear. That's how the colors are done. And then I do this geome smooth again. So same. Right? So I added one layer to this thing, and then you can just see, okay, fine, maybe it's not so good. Maybe so. One thing you notice immediately by doing this is that, let's see, if you think a little bit, what you see now, you see the greens have a certain relationship, the purples have something else, and the yellow is doing something else, right? So the blue curve is sort of averaging out all these guys together, right? That's what the blue curve is doing. But maybe if you look at only the green guy will be like this, the purple guy will be below like this, and the yellow guy will be like this, right? That's how you get it. Let's try and see how if you can get that. So how do we want to get that? Let's see. So this is something called a filtering technique, which I will discuss later. So I just wanted a curve on what the four-wheel drive looks like. So now if you look at this geom curve, smooth curve, it goes only on the four-wheel drive. So the layer was correct. The first one was set up the system with X is engine and Y is efficiency, no problem. The first layer I added was the points, and I colored them with drive. So that's why the green and then the purple and the yellow. Right? That's what I call this legend right here. Then the smooth data set, what it was, I said, I don't want the whole thing. I used the function called filter, and I sort of filtered out only those guys with drive equal to 4. Okay, so let me write this down. So in this particular layer, so in this layer, the geom smooth was applied to only four-wheel drives. That's what is done. That's what is done. So and I use the filter command. So I use the filter command. So the filter command is used. So filter command is very useful. I would recommend that you learn how to use it as you go along. Since it's not an R class, I will not go into all these commands, but this is something you must keep in the background and try to use it once in a while again. So you notice the difference between two things, right? So the previous graph, so in this graph, I just had one curve for everybody. So it came down and went up. But in this one, I just focus on only the purple guys, right? That's why I did this four-wheel drive. So until now, we have done only scatter plots, right? They're just throwing data points as we see them on a picture and trying to see how it looks like. We're not doing any statistical transformations about them, except that this line was the first transformation we tried to do. We tried to measure some relationship. But as of now, the data is not transformed. The data is put on the graph as is. Okay. So the first thing I'd like to do is of transformation is called the bar chart, which you have seen perhaps in this course. So this is the first graph which does some statistics before putting it up for display. So some statistical transformation of data before display. Okay. The scatter plot just displays the data set. There's nothing to be done. So you just, whatever is there, just there's nothing. It's the first time I do this. So here, what am I doing here? Let's see. So here, what is it done? It's just done the histogram, right? So let's see what is done. It has taken the class, right? And it's done what's called a stat count. So it's counted what two-seater is, how many compacts are, how many mid-sizes, and so on. One does the thing, right? So we can do a simple thing ourselves as well. We can go and maybe I've done this next slide. Let's see if I've done it. I've done it. Look, come back. Come to show it now. So we could have gone and counted these numbers ourselves and done a simple bar chart. But this we can do in ggplot in one shot. We can set the data frame and the coordinate chart with this MPG and do a stat count, and of what variable, the variable you do is just class on the x-axis. X is class and the counts now on the y-axis. So the key thing is that it has taken the data set, it has done some calculation to it, and it has given the output on this side. Right? It is not data set, it's some transformation being done. So one way to do it is if you have done R before, this is something that one can do. So you can use a table command, right? So table command will tell you how many people are there in the two-seater, how many in compact, and so on and so forth. And all the graph is doing is just plotting the numbers, right? So you can either use geombar or you can use stat count. So stat count and geombar do the same thing. Stat count and geom_bar do the same function. The same. So geom_bar also does stat count. Stat count just does the just take the table command and then gets the output and then plots it with the bar chart. Now again, see, this is a simple bar chart, right? So now I have a data frame like this. I have a geom_bar, a simple bar chart just plots the count. Now I can go and check in the SUV class how many four-wheel drives are there, or how many two-wheel drives are there, and so on and so forth, right? So so I can again do a simple layer command, right? So I can do that. And then also, let's say I want to understand something else about the data set. Let's see, so some basic summary. So let's do that. So this is a simple summary one can do. So here what I've done is I've done what's called a simple stat summary, right? And what have I done? I've taken the X name as class and the Y variable as highway efficiency. And I've just plotted the values of the high efficiency. So I've taken this two-seater and I've taken what efficiency ranges do range. So it gives you a quick summary of what the fuel efficiency is in across these classes. So the simple thing one can always do. There's really nothing much to be done. It's like a simple quick summary if you want to look at it. And one thing you could always do is you could go and check if you omit some of the commands, how the graph will change. Suppose I omit if I omit function min equal to min and fun max equal to max. Omit that. If I omit the median as well, see how the graph looks like. And go and check. So this is the minimum and this is the maximum, and so on and so forth. And this is where the median lies. I think there are about the ggplot has about 20 stats you can do. About 20 stats. So I have done two things: stat count and stat summary. It is about 20 stats. You can go check on ggplot help menu. I can just say, I think you just have to do a question. I think stat bin. It'll give you everything. It'll give you all the bins if you want. Now, like I said, I want to add a layer to it. So now, if you look at the data set, let's go by data set. Let's go head MPG. Let's say MPG itself. Let's just do MPG question mark. So remember, I did this thing, right? So I had this transmission of the automatic and there are various transmissions: automatic with 3 gears, automatic with 5 gears, 6 gears, and so on and so forth, and 2 manual guys. So what I did was I just added the layer. So I took in the previous one, I just had, look at this, I just had X equal to class, right? That's all I did. I just stat count. That's all I did. In this one, on the stat count, I just added a fill equal to trans. That means it'll give colors proportional to the number of people in that particular transmission category. For example, here, I had some yellow was manual. So there are so many manuals in two-seaters, so many manuals in compact, so many in mid-size. There's nobody in minivan. There's so many in pickup, so many in subcompact, and so on. So you can add immediately layer to a graph to make it three-dimensional as well, and also understand exactly what's going on. Because now it's a little bit hard to understand, you know, how large this is and all. You can do a simple dodge command that'll put them, if the position equal to dodge, it'll put them side by side like this. So then it tells you exactly how the counts are for your picture. Right, so let me go back here on this side. Let me come back here. Let me try this a little bit. So I have to do this. This is the polar code. I have not come to this yet. This one, this is the one. This is on top of each other. There's no dodge on this. Like I said, the next one will dodge. Come on, side. Very cool. Now I can do a coordinate flip as well. I can make it horizontal. This is called a coordinate flip command. It just flips the graph across. Just give that view. Let's just see if I have that. I have that as well. Let's just do that. So just flip it across and just give you horizontal. So if you want, that's something. And you can also keep the legend like this and tells you what's available in each count. Simple count. So here I've not added any layers, but I've just filled it with class. And you just give different colors to each of the bars. That's all it's doing. And the fill I've done with Viridis, so it gives Viridis colors. If you don't do Viridis, some of the colors will come. And the last thing is I'd like to sort of say it is this is coordinate chart one, and then this. So this is just it's a polar coordinates picture of the same thing. There's nothing else going on here. It's something that one can play with and understand. Very good. So, so just to conclude this this set of first week of lectures, so one thing we've learned is this layered grammar of graphics. So this is how ggplot done. So we saw scatter plots, how to layer them. We saw histograms, histograms and bar charts. Not quite histogram, I'll just say bar charts. And we also saw how to use geoms. And there are many, many more. You could just see a help menu and sort of down the thing. Again, what's the key idea? The key layer grammar of graphics is the following. You first make the coordinate chart. You specify the geom function that you want to play with. You give it a mapping. You name all the aesthetics to the variable names and the actual name of the aesthetic. Then you describe what statistics you want to do, and then describe what position you want to do. And then you have we did the how to coordinate flip or polar coordinates. And the last one is this facet function as well. So look at this down. With this, we did how to do viridis colors. And then we did how to do facets. And then we did how to do, we did this thing called these coordinates as well. It's polar and flips. There are many more that I have not covered, but that you can sort of pick up as the course goes along. So we'll do many, many more graphs go along, and then, but it's very useful. But the formal idea is this layering. That's one thing you should keep in mind, that ggplot allows you to do is this layered grammar of graphics. So you could start with a simple data frame and then layer it, each layer by layer. So one layer you can put and so on. Well, the mapping and the aesthetics.